if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up? What is up, TGIF? I hope everybody had a great day today. We are finally here. We are at the weekend. It's time to make some money. This is where we punch in and we earn the extras. All those fun things that we want out of life. Adding toys, vacations, all that other fun stuff, whatever it very well may be. Tonight's going to be the card that helps us get there. I'm telling you that right now. We got to fire back. You know, listen, tough day yesterday, show-wise. Live show. Man, I said nobody does the live shows like we do. You know, here's the difference. I was thinking about this. Why we have such a run on buttons being pressed with cashing tickets right off the gate and through the entirety of the show? Because we do our homework. We're not just coming in to say, I got nothing, but I'm going to listen to you guys. I don't know. Everyone's looking at the entire board. We've looked at the entire board. You got these guys that are voluminous bettors, as am I. And we all put our heads together. And it's like fucking lightning strike. It's crazy. It was an unbelievable night last night. Just winner after winner. I mean, goal scoring props, plus money opportunities, live betting, pre-flop, late hockey betting. What a night that was. That was really something fun. And guess what? We're going to do it again tomorrow. We got the UFC 313. This card, you know, I'll tell you every card looks good because I think when we have combat versus no combat, it's a good situation. We'll make money. But this card looks awesome. It looks really great from top to bottom. Man, can't wait. Can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be a fun day. We got the last games of most of these major conferences in college basketball. We'll have a huge NHL slate. Today was trade deadline day. So we have to tread carefully in the NHL. There was a lot of trades. Holy cow. Probably my biggest takeaway. As I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at this right now. My biggest takeaway is probably the Boston Bruins have waved the white flag, I think. It looks like they just pretty much pieced everybody off. And they did just make a move to the Sabres. I see that. There's going to be a lot that's got to be unpacked with this deadline. There's a bunch of guys the Flyers traded away. You know what's interesting is Mishkov, first player in the rookie season to get to 20 goals this year. Kid's electric. What'd they do? Well, they brought in one of his best friends who looks like a real card. He looks like a real jerk. But, he said, what'd he say? How do you play hockey? And he was like, you back check, you forecheck, you paycheck. And anyways, I thought his best friend or one of his good friends, both from Russia. This kid was number 3, I believe, in the under 21 KHL scoring. So that's exciting, but there's a lot to go on. Dallas picks up Rantanen. They kind of screwed us last night. I thought it was going to be maintenance or asset management for Rantanen not getting on the ice with the Carolina Hurricanes with the impending trade. And then the show's done, and there he is practicing on the ice. I'm like, man, couldn't have missed that call anymore. And then, of course, everybody starts talking about it after the fact. Like, okay, well, great. Now what are we supposed to do with this information? But you know what? It's only the one time a year with the deadline that this kind of trickery happens in the NHL, which is why it's a class act. That's why we like to bet on the NHL. We can read the lines pretty well, and go after it. So we're going to go after it tonight, though. I got to get this thing ready to roll. Goalie. Let's go. Look, not a lot went well for us on the show yesterday. But I will say this. I'm going to go right back after the Detroit Red Wings tonight. I don't care that they're playing the Washington Capitals. I don't. And maybe some stubborn. Maybe that's the situation. Maybe it is. What the freak is going on here? What my computer has gotten really what's the word I'm looking for? Really a piece of shit is what it's come down to. Man, what is going on? Bear with me for a second. Hang on. What the freak? Okay. Okay, we're back. We're ready. We're ready to attack. Cam Talbot and Logan Thompson. I got it. It's Logan Thompson. I get it. Going to be challenging Hellebuck for Vezina Trophy, best goaltender in the NHL options. But I don't care. Yesterday, it made no sense. And they got busted up by Utah. So there was some late buying coming in on Utah. Made sense. But, when you see the final score. But, again, the 7th least productive 5-on-5 team in the NHL since the All-Star break. The 8th highest team in the NHL with expected goal scoring opportunities. It's not a game I'm going to give you guys here tonight. But, some of those reads last night, look, we got the Larkin goal scorer. We talked about his inability to score goals with the shots that he's been taking and not finding the back of the twine. Sadly, I don't think I'll be doing any more first half betting in the NFL. We've hit some college first half bets and they've won nicely, but man, last night, just the wrong side. Come back and win the whole damn game. Same thing in the NBA with the Houston Rockets. The Lakers found a way to pull out at the end against them Knicks last night. It was crazy night in sports, but let's go. Time to get to work today. How about that? You know the deal. Appreciate my guy Joe Dub coming in the house, blessing our action, kicking us off with a gifted sports money membership. I said this last night. Make sure you do good in there and turn on your ability to receive gifted memberships. You have to go in there and manually change it in your setting in YouTube. They don't automatically put it out there. I don't know why. Doesn't seem like there's any downside to being gifted a membership. But nonetheless, if you're sitting there going, man, how come I don't get any of these gifted memberships? Make sure it's turned on. That's all you got to do. While you're checking those things out, make sure you do hit the thumbs up button for us. This is how we grow the channel. Contributions like our friend Joe W. Gift and sports money membership. Of course, getting upgraded memberships, get them premium plays for the weekend. Weekend's here. There's going to be a whole bunch of plays firing off tomorrow and Sunday. But mostly important, hit that thumbs up button. You close the chat, you smack the thumbs up, you pop it back open, and we'll get to work. Plus 190. Detroit Red Wings. I'm taking it. I don't care. Famous last words. Captain, the ship is sinking. I don't care. Let's go. Let's get to work. You know the deal. Get the pen and paper out. The best in the business assemble here. They're ready to go. They've got their best bets in the chat. We're going to talk about them. You're going to want to write them down. It's going to be a long night of gambling action. And of course, share your best bets in the chat so we can talk about those as well. Here we go. Daryl Jones kicking us off here tonight. 18-11. Yeah, lost that on hook. I hate it. Been there, my friend. We've all been there. Georgia State plus 7.5. Georgia State plus 7.5 for our guy, Gerald Jones. Appreciate you sharing. Joe Dubs here. Redbeard. Georgia State plus 7.5. We got a little consensus. Says he wants to move on Dayton. Live under in Mercer game. Man, I had a bad beat. I had the under 130.5 in Radford. Didn't look, sitting at halftime, it's like 130.5. And they go to overtime. So I see a live line at 140.5. 140.5. Let's see. All right, well, it's not looking good. Obviously, I'm going to take this now because I get 10 more points than I started the game with. And 65-65, the game goes to overtime. I was gold if they just missed that last bucket. And then it goes to overtime, and it just smashed my under. So that was my experience live betting today early. So I guess I had it coming after last night's monster run. Shout out to Redbeard. Appreciate you sharing your action. Robert McCormick, Bobby Lex in the house, ready to roll. Nicholas Handy. Stop, Gio. Wine Time's here. What's up, Wine Time? It's good to see you, my friend. Jerry Davis is hitting 4 of 5 so far today. Let's keep it rolling. Hell yeah. Let's go. Peter Gracia's here, ready to roll. The beauty of betting. Let's go. Let's go. Mr. Tomatoes is here. Mr. T's reporting for duty. Cheers, Pimp Slap. Apologize to Morning Steam family for not making it today. Had to take the dog to the vet. Oh, man. Hope everything's okay with the pooch. Hopefully it's not an expensive trip. Sometimes they add up. AOD's ready to roll. Appreciate my brother AOD here. Jerry Davis. Like State in points and Georgia State points. Redbeard. I like Ohio in the over 2. I like UNC Asheville. How about San Diego getting that win for us yesterday? It was a little live play action from the show. 5 betting was fire yesterday. Can't believe it. Bruins trade Brad Marchand. Yep. Implosion in Boston. It's fine. They got to fix their goaltending. Corpusalo was not it. Man, I thought they were going to get that game yesterday, too. Man, it was just a aggressive plays, bad results. Sharon Pulliam's in the house. What's up, my friend? Ramon Scott says laggy. Laggy. Nothing I can do about it at this point. Hopefully it's okay. Hopefully we're back on track. What the hell? We need to do a wellness check on Joe T. Jerry Davis's thumb smashed and it didn't hurt. Had the over 131 in Radford. Well, you got the better of me in that one, Redbeard. Peter Gracia says Bruins shake it up. Marchand Carl felt it was coming. Fans impatient. Robert McCormick says Jets versus Devils. No goal in the first 10 minutes. No gift. I really like the under in that game. Matter of fact, we're going to pop off with that game. Hopefully it's okay. Hopefully I'm not still laggy. Is it laggy? My timer looks okay. Somebody let me know. What's up, David Wallace? Are we okay? Are we laggy? We glitchy? Somebody keeps logging into my system at 6:30 in the morning. My time. And so every single day, I am now have to reset and go through the security protocol for Google. I don't know who's doing it. I don't know why they're doing it. There's nothing to get. I guess there is plenty to get. But that means that things like StreamYard are compromised. I got to go back in and log. I almost couldn't get in today. Almost couldn't get in. Imagine that. Friday, trying to get back. No good. Jerry Davis says I had 128 over. Teams with 8+ at Presbyterian. Nick's in the house. He likes a little Toledo money line. Toledo action, huh? Toledo. Okay. I get down with some Toledo. I'm going to get down with this NHL. We're going to go Winnipeg Jets, New Jersey Devils. First game in the hopper. And it's Connor Hellebuck versus Jacob Markstrom. Hellebuck is unconfirmed. And I'm afraid to refresh. Because I don't want it to shut this whole thing down again. Look. It's a bad schedule spot for Winnipeg Jets. We'll start there. This team's playing 3 games in 4 nights, and they stink at it. It's only happened a few times this season. I believe they've come up empty every single time they've been in this position. They just played. We saw that. Beat up them Flyers 4-1. Had them from top to bottom, start to finish. Just a little sloppy at the end there to let a goal get away from them for them Flyers. Still cashed the under. And the under looks great in this game, I think. Jacob Markstrom on the other side for the New Jersey Devils. 20, 11, and 5. 2.34 goals against average, a 90.8% save percentage. The Devils have lost back-to-back games. And look, Markstrom's going to have to battle. I mean, his last game, he shit the bed. 4 goals on 21 shots. Lost at the last second of that Dallas game. That was embarrassing. 4-3 loss. But look, I think this is an opportunity where we're going to take advantage of this unrested Winnipeg Jet squad. As I mentioned, 3 games in 4 nights, not their strength and strong suit. And this is a Devils opportunity. Now, this will be the first game since the official announcement of Jack Hughes being sidelined for the rest of the season. So we also have the star player out, team steps up theory. Now, it's kind of a little compromise because, he's been out. So at the end of the day, to me, this really comes down to a couple things here. Again, we got a low-scoring game. We know the Winnipeg Jets have been a low-scoring team. We've got the Devils with the rest advantage, and we got this bad schedule spot for the Jets, and you're catching plus money. Okay, check, and more check the box on everything. It's funny because I was talking earlier with some people about Friday and the public betting day. I'll never forget when our guy told us about that. It's an interesting strategy that's, hear a lot of bullshit from a lot of people. But the Friday angle really got me. Payday, it's public. Public loves betting the NBA. I'm not such a fan of it, but I'll do it. But that being said, favorites on Fridays. It's another little incentive that I wouldn't mind getting away from. And again, this dog spot with this New Jersey Devils team, to me, fits the mold. Let's see I think I got one. Let me see. Fucking everything. Literally. I don't know who's doing it. Someone's doing it. Fucking every single day. And everything gets reset because of it. Pissing me off. Start calling Google. Find the son of a bitch that keeps doing it. Hack it in. Sidetracked. Excuse me. I'm pissed. Every single day for the last, 10 days I've had to do this now. Stuff. Everything. The phone. The tablet. Wherever the tablet is. The iPad. The fucking laptop. It's annoying. Don't cap angry. Plus 105. New Jersey Devils. Plus 105. The Friday factor, the Friday effect. I love that little extra caveat to it. Yeah, the public loves them Winnipeg Jets. Why wouldn't they? They see it. But, look, Winnipeg's had a pretty soft schedule. And they've been fortunate with that lack of road trip that they've had situations with that 3 games in 4 nights. And when it does exist, they're not good at it. We'll move on. We'll cover the second game on the card. Make sure you guys do smack that thumbs up button if you're just getting in here. Very much appreciate you coming by to hang out. Yeah, you know what's fucked up though, Peter? I don't do anything. I don't click anything. I don't go on any strays. I got 10 sites I go on, tops. And it's the same 10 sites for everything. It's been the same 10 sites. It's only been the last 10 days. But it's been every single day. Every single day. Piss me off. That's annoying. That's what it is. Every single day. Can I say every single day? Every single day. Talk about scheduling opportunities. So we got one team in Winnipeg that's had a blessing of a nice ease of travel in their schedule. They're going to be up against it today. They'll You ever wake up the next morning and look at the bottle of vodka and go, wow, that's impressive. Not even angry. Okay, so on the other side of things here, what we have with the St. Louis team, we bought on them. We were ahead of the trend here when they started picking up the streak. We got them against the Kings. And we're going to keep rolling with this St. Louis Blues team because if you look at their schedule as it comes up, they are playing a bunch of cupcakes. And when it comes to the Anaheim Ducks at home, you want to fade the Anaheim Ducks at home. There's a specific trend just around fading the Anaheim Ducks at home. They're terrible. On the road, one of the best puck line teams, as we've heard from Ramon Scott. He's shared that information and that knowledge with us here. But, man, fading Anaheim at home against a conference opponent, 17-69 if you're betting on Anaheim at home. 69-17 if you're fading them. Can you believe that? 69-17. Straight fade. So, The only thing you can do in this situation is say, we're going to fade these boys. And we got this opportunity again. We're going to start seeing these price tags they're going to start swelling with the St. Louis Blues team because they're going to start picking up a bunch of wins. We've got Jordan Binnington, expected goaltender, 19, 20, and 4 on the St. Louis Blues side of things, 2.78 goals against average, and an 89.9% save percentage. Not Binnington's finest year. Pretty good side in the Four Nations Cup, though. That being said, playing against some of the best in the world, minus the Russians. And he played pretty damn well. Lucas Dostal on the other side, yeah, he's the guy, I guess, for Anaheim. But it doesn't matter because they're bad at home. He's 18, 15, and 5, so he does have a winning record. He's got a 2.95 goals against average and a 91.1% save percentage. All in all, not bad. There's been a lot of moving parts with this Duck squad as well the last couple of days. Trades moving, salary cap changes, lots of things happening across the board, but still an opportunity I think we want to embrace. John Gibson gets hurt. Dostal goes in. I always love to fade a goalie when you don't know what their headspace looks like. He was expecting to be the backup. He's ready. He's 14 and 15 saves in that game. But now with this uncertainty about what's happening with Johnny Gibson, the fact that he was expected to be sitting on the bench and he got thrust into the limelight, he's a young guy, but he's just average. And he got this St. Louis team that's starting to pick up some steam. Is what's happening. They're starting to catch a little Uncle Mo momentum. Let me give you one last one. Let me see if I can paraphrase this. You get a shitty, tired dog who won their last game. You fade them, and you do that. You're 7 and 31 if you're playing on that spot. You want to fade that squad. Shitty, tired dog won their last game. 31 and 7 if you fade those boys. Now the thing about this one is the margin of victory. Do I want to come in here and share with you guys a minus 150? No, that's the other guys. That's not us. You know that. You already know that. Stop. But what I can tell you is by this margin of victory, again, shitty, tired dog won their last game. That's the sell high. 31 and 7. The margin of victory, 1.6 goals. If it was 0.3 or 0.4, I might have to be inclined to go to the minus 1. But because we were over the 1.5, we're at 1.6, I'm good with the regulation time. I got that price tag at plus 109. The St. Louis Blues are going to be buy on as we progress over the next 2 to 3 weeks and finish out the season. We're going to take advantage of them tonight with a healthy margin, 1.6 goals. And we got a plus 109 behind it by getting these boys to win in regulation. Big difference than taking the juice down versus actually using a little bit of, theory, right? A little sports science to wrap ourselves around exactly why we want to be involved on that regulation bump. So that'll be play number 2. We got a plus 109 tag out there. 2 dogs to start the card off. We're going to roll on. Minnesota Wild, Vancouver Canucks. We talked about Jack Hughes. Well, how about Quinn Hughes? 3 Hughes brothers playing in the NHL. Jack, we just talked about being sidelined for the rest of the season. Quinn, he's hurt. He's the captain of Vancouver. He just got traded to Minnesota. Not playing anyways, but just got traded. You're out the door, kid. And there goes that leadership from this Minnesota squad, or from this Vancouver squad. Now, young guy, I don't know if I would necessarily define that as leadership, but Vancouver's dealing with their own turmoil. And it comes down to not scoring goals. Now, we did catch a win the other night with them. The Minnesota Wild on the other side, probably a little bit of a similar situation. Not catching W's because they're not catching goals. Gustafsson will start. He's 23, 13, and 3, 2.66 goals against average with a 91.3% save percentage. Kevin Lankinen will go because we know Thatcher Demko's still sidelined. He's 21, 10, and 7 with a 2.63 goals against average and a 90.4% save percentage. Both goalies, pretty comparable. And frankly, they're both playing pretty well. Gustafsson, last game out, 33 saves on 36 shots. It was against the Kraken. Kraken are shooting the puck, I guess. I'll give them that. They're doing anything. On the other side of things, Lankinen, had an Anaheim game, did pick up the win. Confidence booster, 14 of 16 shots, but he got the win. Probably the most important piece behind that. And this is what we're going to do with this one here. We got a little under action, a 1-6-2 trend to the under. Basically, when you're the road dog and you got a better win percentage and you've got more rest than your opponent, you're going to find unders. Now, this is a little tricky because it does have a little revenge opportunity to it. The last time you played, you won at home and it went under on top of that rest advantage with a better team. You're 1-6-2 to the under. And it's price tagged at 5.5. Now, it's a little juicy at 5.5. Surprised it hasn't moved. I actually thought that we might see a 5. Crazy as that sounds, but yeah, look, Minnesota and Vancouver, the line's still moving now. It's down to minus 125 on this under. And again, the 1-6-2 trend that we're going to ride into the sunset for this game in the NHL. And we'll roll out. Keep a brisk pace here so we can get everybody out and enjoy their Friday nights. The Penguins and the Vegas Knights will be the nightcap for us. A lot of late night action I noticed here tonight, which means it's going to be a late night for the late night, which means there may be more late night plays coming as well. So make sure you guys do get the opportunity to support us. Level up, baby. Silver and gold. We've got the Penguins and the Knights. I've had this game circled for 2 days. Sharp action started pounding away on the Vegas Golden Knights 2 nights ago because of this Pittsburgh Penguins mediocrity at best. Sidney Crosby, Sid the middle-aged man, was pretty fucking good in that Four Nations, but the rest of that team is just gas-bagged and squashed. They're trading parts around as well. 12-13-5, Nedeljkovic with a 3.14 goals against average and an 89.3% save percentage. That's who you're trotting in there. On the other side of things, the Vegas Golden Knights will roll to Samsonov. 14-8-2. Not his finest work. 3.04 goals against average and an 88.7% save percentage. Nothing gets the slump buster moving in the right direction like a gas bag team like the Pittsburgh Penguins to build your confidence. And the Vegas Golden Knights have won 3 in a row. When the Vegas Golden Knights win at home, it's covering the puck line, and they're doing it in bunches. The best puck line team in the NHL. How about that? Who saw that coming? Not me. I kind of expected. Well, I didn't expect that, I guess is what it comes down to. The Penguins are on a 3-game losing streak. They're 10-17-5 on the road. And you're rolling into the fortress. That's going to be a problem. Vegas, 23-6-3 at home. And remember, majority of those opportunities, it comes down to covering the puck line. Crazy. Second best home team, as it turns out. I think I was mistaken. I think I said that first. Second best home team against the spread, 20-11. Let me stat correct myself. 20-11. So what did I say? 23-6-3 straight up. 20-11 at home on the puck line. Surprisingly, the best team in the NHL is the Columbus Blue Jackets on the puck line at home. I didn't see that coming. That was a surprise to me. That being said, though, look, bottom line, you're in Vegas. They had the night off for travel, and they're in Vegas as well. That's just a bad recipe for this Pittsburgh Penguins team. I'm taking the puck line. I'm going to jump in. I got a plus 105. I think. Let me double check. Plus 105 on the puck line for the Vegas Golden Knights. Show it to me. Tell you what, the other game that I was looking at, yeah, the Chicago Blackhawks. Hard not to consider the first period over. The game's got some over trending to it. I like both teams to score in the first period as well. Lots of ways I would consider maybe firing away at that game here. It's a big slate. Just giving you guys a couple different ideas of how to attack the card. I know some of you guys like to get parlays involved. You're asking for some of my opinions on that. I like the Devils. I like the under. Going back to the Red Wings. I have the Blackhawks in Utah. Yeah, man. First period overs. That thing cashed in like 5 minutes yesterday in that Blackhawks game. And we covered the rest of the card. So being a small NHL slate, I still think there's a lot of cash to pack in this thing. My apprehension is the trade deadline. But the majority of these players are situated with these veteran teams. So that should be good for us. We'll keep it rolling. We'll move on. And we'll cover some college hoops here. Kind of small card. 3 plays. I stretched them out, I think, across the day. Western Michigan, Bowling Green, still playing. Matching with 2 scrubs. What could be better? Why not? Why not take a stab at this game here? But specifically, as I was looking at this one, you got this line. 94% of the bets and 95% of the cash are coming in on Bowling Green. The line's come down a half a point. I mean, that's a red flag. And you got 87% of the bets and 87% of the cash on the over. The line has come down 2 points. 145.5 down to 143.5 out there in some cases. I was able to snag a 144.5, and I went in on this under. I thought this was just too good an opportunity to pass up. Bowling Green at home, 6-9 to the under. Western Michigan, look, they're the best teams in the barn is what it comes down to. If you look at their overall numbers and Bowling Green's catching wins. They've won 4 in a row, but they've also had 4 unders in a row. So when Bowling Green wins, it's going under. And we got them in that favorite role despite the reverse line movement. On the other side of things, 3 of the last 4 games have gone under for Western Michigan. Both these teams peg right around 70 points. It's right in the wheelhouse for us. It falls right into that number of an under. Getting later in the season for 2 shitbag teams. Taking the under. Reverse line movement to the under. The reverse line movement has been, I got to see if I can find the number this year. I was tracking, let me see. If you just played reverse line movement, just that, profitable season. 706 and 599 over about 1,300 games. So it's about a 54% edge on the reverse line movement. That's why it's so important. I don't pay as much attention when it comes to hockey, because we were talking a little bit about this last night. Kind of had this feeling that sharps just kind of buy the numbers. Like they see a team's good team and they'll pay a big price tag for it, or they'll see it's a bad team and they'll get a big price tag for it. So it's a little different, I think, when it comes to that. It's a smaller market. But I think when you look at this overall and what we're seeing here with college basketball is it's showing that there's a reason that we want to look at these cash flow splits. Gone are the days of arguing about whether it's important or not. The entire industry has morphed in this direction. And those stay off my porch guys are just missing the boat because it's another tool. And this one here showing you that it is profitable. We're just looking for slight edges. All these little things that kind of push us, to nudge us into the direction of one team versus another. And I think that's what we have with that spot there. And again, the reverse line movement certainly brings it home for us. Let's go. Game number 2 is going to be a big one. Illinois and Purdue. A little Big Ten action as they look to finish off the season. And we got a little revenge spot. Why not? Those are the ones that I look for. I love, especially this time of year. Tough to beat a team twice. I heard some great numbers today about that situation. And higher ranked seeds as they get into their conference tournaments. So that's going to be a lot of fun to dissect and break down, especially next week. I know we've got some of the smaller squads rolling their conference tournaments now, but look, Purdue and Illinois, number 18 Purdue, rolling into Illinois, the Fighting Illinois, and the Illinois are thinking revenge. Why the hell not? Boy, how about that? I was just thinking with the Big Ten, only 15 teams make it. Iowa needed that win last night. They were leading at halftime. I went out there. I live bet them. I bet Michigan State at halftime, despite the fact they were down 7 points, and they busted them boys up. Good to be dialed into that one. But that being said, both these teams look pretty good. Pretty good as far as the opportunity. Coming in ranked, obviously, is another little. You got revenge and you're ranked. And here's the thing. You got reverse line movement. 87% of the bets, only 79% of the cash. I say only because it does create that little differential for the bigger bettors coming in on Illinois. But this line has gone from 3.5 to 4.5. That's a little recipe that you want to find right there, is when you can see that positive differential on the opposite side of your reverse line movement and the books are concerned. Some big better came in there and smacked on Illinois. And the total's not moving. 53% of the bets, 55% of the bets and 54% of the cash are on the over. It has not budged. And, looking at these, it's a tough game. It's ballsy to be able to jump in there and try to fire off on this thing here, especially when you look at it and you see, look, Illinois 10-7 against the spread at home. Purdue 7-6 against the spread on the road. It's kind of impressive because you do see a lot of parity. You see a lot of 500 for the road factor there. So they have slight edge against the spread for Purdue. Okay, I like that. But I can't get involved in Purdue. There's a huge difference between the team and specifically the way that they played basketball. They crush the overs at home, and then they go on the road, and it's like they forget how to shoot. They're 5-8 to the under on the road. They're 12-4 to the over at home. That's what I'm talking about. Doesn't seem to work out too well for them. That being said, look, they handled Rutgers 100-71. They handled UCLA. That was an impressive win. They went out, they had them come in and they busted them up by a 10-pack. 76-66. They were laying 5.5 points and they comfortably covered the spread. Was surprised. Prior to that, though, it wasn't all green. It wasn't all gravy. They did have an Indiana spot. They got busted up on the road as favorites. Tough to go on the road in the Big Ten as it is. And you're a favorite and you lose by 15 points was something to be said. Maybe somebody got the videotape on these guys here. And then on the other side of things, the Fighting Illini, they've got themselves back-to-back wins. Comfortably handled Michigan at Michigan. 3.5-point dogs. They just ripped them up by 20 points. Big deal. They busted up Iowa by 20 points. So you got this Illinois team starting to separate. Now, ballsy for them. They did play Duke. They got busted up by Duke. A lot of people like Duke to win the tournament overall this year. Cooper Flagg and company. They were getting 9. They lost by 33. But you know what? If you're going to take that loss, why not? You take it on the chin, and they fired back, and they've been stomping on teams ever since. So they elevated their game by way of scheduling and getting that opportunity. And I think that's the most important piece of all when it comes down to it. Now we do have some intersecting opportunities. We do have a big spot, I should say, not intersecting, but a big spot here. What do we talk about? Somebody asked last night, is it the most overused term as the revenge spot? Maybe. But why is it important? If you're the home team in revenge, you lost by 4 or more points to a ranked team, they find themselves 49-17-1 if they're coming in off a road game versus a ranked opponent. Step up in class, in a revenge opportunity, 49-17-1. One push. One lowly outlier. And otherwise, a 3-1 situation, over a 3-1 situation in terms of profitability. That's why we look for it. This time of year, we can pound away on it. And on top of that, we got Illinois that finds themselves 8-0 versus teams that average 7 or more three-pointers after they made 13 threes the previous game. When it comes down to it, and they know this team's going to go out there and fire threes, they know they've got to fire threes. They keep the three train rolling, smoke the three, smoke the J. You guys know what I'm saying. It's an Illinois spot for me all day in this one here. They're going to pack them bags up for Purdue and send them back out of town with a big fat L on their record here. Why not take a little ranked opponent down and put a little notch in your belt as you get ready for the Big East tournament there. Illinois, I got -4.5. Plenty of good number out there. I think you guys can still get involved with that as well. Let's see. Johnny C. I think you guys look at the playbook. The playbook is out there, of course. I got to put some updates in there tonight for the playbook, so I will get them. Peter Grassi says, imagine 3 kids playing. Mm-hmm. Power slap is tonight. I have seen some power slap plays. John C. I mean, listen. If you're number one, you got to let everybody know it. Isn't that how it works? What's the good of being number one if nobody knows it? Yes, I am on the favorite. I am. We'll see. It should be a fun fight. Should be a fun fight. I think that they're just in his head. I think they're in Ankalaev's head, and it's going to be interesting to see what he says. Redbeard says first period over is automatic in Chicago. Agreed. And it's not too, look, we stepped off that train for a little while. We let everybody else tag it. I'm sad I didn't tag it as many times as everybody else did. Then it fell apart when everybody talked about it. And away they go. Peter Grassi says, yep, Duke Public Mojo 2. Oldie says another long day. Just jumping in. What's up, Oldie? Jerry Davis says, Mikey, what do you do when the reverse line movement reverse like Bowling Green? What do you do when the reverse line movement reverse like Bowling Green? Well, I don't want to get involved when I see 94 or 95%. I'm immediately thinking the other side. You never want to be on the 95% side of anything. Even if it's a sure thing, there's no such thing as a sure thing, like, I don't know how much validity there is in this, but 100% of the cash is in on Akron's money line at minus 2,400. Okay. I don't think Buffalo's going to win that game, but I see 95% of the bets and 90% of the cash coming in and the lines come down. I think Buffalo potentially is a live dog. Not outright dog. I'm sorry. They're live to cover the spread. Let me rephrase that. In a game like this with Western Michigan and Bowling Green, I'm looking on the other side of things here because favorites and unders, overs and dogs, to me, if I can't get in on the under because we've got reverse line, or the side because we've got reverse line movement, then I'll look to that total. So I'll find a way to play it. It's just not trying to gobble up. The reverse line movement's a flag. Definitely a red flag for me. And especially like we just talked about the numbers behind it and showing that there is something to it. Thanks, Pete. Just probably one of the first guys that was leveraging the splits before everybody. I remember the conversations we would have too. Where did data come from? From publicly traded companies, dummy. And so, that you can't manipulate buying patterns if you're a publicly traded company. You can't do it. There's a certain regulatory body that frowns on that type of stuff, and they got 3 letters, much like the Southern Conference. It's what it is. It's what it is. I think those are certain things that you have to look at and say, okay, there's other games too. We can't bet 150 as much as I'd like to. You can't bet 150 games. So there's other ways to approach it. There's other ways to skin the cat. I'll tell you, there's one that we'll talk about in the NBA. There's one that we'll talk about in the NBA that's got a little flavor to it. Speaking of revenge, let's go to our last game on the card. So I'm on Illinois with that one, you guys. Love it. Love the opportunity. And we're going to exact revenge here. First of all, Boise State, very difficult place to play. You got Colorado State rolling in here. Probably not the best team on the road. You got 80% of the bets and 58% of the cash on Colorado State. And what's the line done? It's gone from 5.5 to 6 to 6.5. Where's that differential in buying pattern? 22% boost on the Boise State side of things. I probably shouldn't use that terminology. 22% differential, keep it consistent, showing bigger bettors are coming in on Boise State, bigger money. And the books don't care that the public's all over Colorado State. They've taken 5.5 to 6 to 6.5. And that's a 10 o'clock game. So a lot of bets on it. 14,500 tickets, one of the more bet games tonight. Total's gone nowhere. 141.5. You got 81% of the bets and 79% of the cash on the over, and it's not moving. Pounding the over, it's not moving. Suggested under. The favorite, we just talked about it. I try to be repetitious with some of this stuff so that when you guys are looking on your own, maybe we're not live. Maybe some of this stuff applies to what you're looking at as you're capping these cards. But yeah, big opportunity. Back home, favorite, trying to exact their revenge. And that's what we have. And on top of that, conference road dogs with more than a 3-point dog spot. At least 6 road wins are 27-63. 27-63 if they're playing a team that shoots over 44%. They're on the road. They're a dog. It doesn't necessarily translate well. It comes down to the fact that this team can shoot the lights out, and it's their home barn. So their sightlines are familiar to those individuals, and they go out there and they fire. And that's very much Boise State position here. So you got the revenge the revenge angle. You got the home favorite situation in the revenge angle. And you got a fade opportunity for this conference road dog situation at 27-63. Boise State me up. -5.5 it is. Let me double check. Yeah, -5.5. I got -5.5 at -118. We get 6. I'd get it early, though, because it might get to 7 by the time we get to tip-off. You don't want to be on that 7. You want to have that extra point in your back pocket. So does Boise State go out? Because 7, at that point, they're going to start winning by 10. That's tall order in what should be a competitive game. But I expect Boise State to be fired up. And it's senior night on top of that. I believe Boise State has 2 seniors in their rotation. So there's an extra little added incentive. I don't care too much about senior night. I told you my philosophy system was the other direction. Let's F their day up. Not, it's senior night. So, we've all been there. Get the flower. Your parents come out. You give them some flowers. They stand there. They get a picture taken. It's a bunch of horse shit that goes into the front end of it. But there are some teams that are loaded with seniors, and it does make a little bit more of a difference. But not so much, I think, for Boise. Although, they'll have that extra little caveat there. Senior night, crowd should be roaring. It's Friday night, live, big game, revenge situation, and a good team in Colorado State, 15-4, despite maybe some mediocrity when it comes to traveling. So we'll take Boise State. We'll rock them down at -5.5. Like I said, suggested. There will be. I always think that's important. Trisha M. Shout out to Vila Coots in the houses. I like the under in the Boise game. Yeah, I can see that. I can see Colorado State not showing up on the road. How about those Ice Cat trade moves? They're chasing the 2-peat. I usually like the future play. I don't know. I don't think they did enough with that $8.9 million of salary relief they have personally. Bobrovsky had his good season. I don't think that team's built to. It's hard to win the same championship twice. Colorado, I'll tell you. Colorado just shipped Middlestad out. Got his ass out of there. He's a bum. Colorado probably made the most. I got to look at him. I got to look at them all. And what I'll do for next week is, after seeing the trade deadlines and seeing who's kind of gotten stronger where, put together a couple of conference futures out there, because I don't think it's going to be Nashville. Nashville's not going to do it. I still have Toronto. I don't know if Toronto's made enough moves either I don't know. They did get Lawton. Scotty played last night. He traded his ass to Toronto. We got a first-round draft pick for it. And we got Mishkov's best friend from it. So, yeah, I can't get that. It's hard to win twice. Cameron says them to win the East at +300. They're going to beat the Capitals? Ovechkin chasing history? Let's not forget. It's kind of a big deal. Oh, by the way, Tampa's going to be an issue for him. Yeah, they put Tampa down again the other day, but part of the problem with that Tampa situation is they got the fresher goaltender. He sat the first third of the season out. John C. says Tampa Bay. There you go. Off the cuff, those are 2 teams I'd rather have than Florida, because it's tough to win it twice. Now, we'll see what they do with it. I got to look more into it. TBD. There was a lot of trades this week. Not just today. I mean, there was a lot today, but this week there was a lot of movement taking place across the NHL. First game, we're going to talk about the Blazers and the OKC Thunder. This is one of those spots where I'm not going to overguess this thing or overthink it. I'm going to jump in and bang on it, because this line's fucked up. OKC, one of the best teams, maybe the second best team in the NBA, behind the Cavaliers, and you're only getting 3? It's a red flag. And generally, when something doesn't add up, you want to take the spot that doesn't make sense. Why is Portland not getting 10 points? Well, who knows what? I think I know what. Overall, this is going to come way down from 15.5s down to 2.5s. 79% of the bets and 72% of the cash are on OKC Thunder. Total has dropped 7.5 points. 7 points. 7.5 points. 7.5 points. Excuse me. Didn't know I was going to be doing math today. 88% of the bets and 74% of the cash are on the over. And I think the big issue here is you can't, if you're Portland, or I'm sorry, if you're, first of all, if you're Portland, you should be wanting to go in there and kick the shit out of these boys. It's OKC. It's a big test. It's a big step up in class. We had the push the other day with Portland against Boston. Prior to that, they beat the shit out of everybody. It is a lengthy road trip for them. You know, they had Washington. They were laying, I mean, they covered. They covered against Washington. They covered against Brooklyn. They covered against Cleveland, even though they lost. They only lost by 4 points. So the big games, they can benchmark themselves. They beat the shit out of Philly, no question. They're only laying 1.5, which was stupid. Stupid line. And the other side of things with OKC Thunder, yeah, they're beating teams up too. Punches and bunches. They're 20-11 against the spread at home. Portland's 18-14 on the road against the spread. So why do we have this number? Well, Chet Holmgren's out. Pretty big deal. Maybe you heard of him. And, you know, at the end of the day, when I was talking about this, this is it's a weird schedule spot. So you got this situation where they've ripped off 5 straight wins. They had back-to-back games against Minnesota, but that was weird. So they split those games. This is OKC I'm talking about. They split these games against Minnesota, but they had just lost to Minnesota. So Minnesota took that series down from them, and they come back home and they lose again to Minnesota, 2-1 in the 3-game span over a 4-game stretch. There's a lot of Minnesota in there, and Minnesota stinks. Then they go to Brooklyn. Stinks. They bust them up. Then they go to Atlanta. Stinks. They bust them up. Then they go to San Antonio. Stinks. They bust them up. Then they go to Houston. Or they got Houston that comes into them. No Fred VanVleet. They bust them up. They got Memphis. Memphis, okay, but there was some jaw issues. 120-103. They bust up Memphis in their own barn. Now they got lowly Portland coming in. And then listen to the stretch they have after that. Back-to-back games against Denver. Then they got a Boston. They slip a Detroit in there. They got Milwaukee. Interesting situation as they get ready to make this big move against some of the best in the NBA as a whole. And Portland's looking at this thing as it's the NBA championship to go out there and bust up this OKC Thunder team. It's good enough for me. I think it's a great opportunity from a scheduling perspective. From an injury perspective, pretty much everybody's out for this OKC team, right? I mean, SGA's day-to-day, Dort, Jalen Williams, Hartenstein, Wallace, and then the home grid factor on top of it. It's just too much to overcome in this case. Blazers not out of it either. 4 games behind the Dallas Mavericks for 10th in the West. They don't have Scoot. No Scoot. Actually, I think he is in that. Actually, now that I look at the injury report, I think he's good to go. Either way, I think there's an opportunity here for us to get involved. I think you want to be on this side of things here. When the numbers don't make sense, you got to fire on the numbers. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to take this Portland Trailblazers team. It's a big game for them. They should be motivated and ready to play. And I like it. I think that's going to be game number 1. I'm just going light in the NBA because, you know, it's tricky. It's a tricky beast, and these guys don't care as much about it. Portland's averaging 118 or more points in their last 5 games. They had a 144-pointer up there. It's going to be too hard for this OKC team to compete. We'll see. I said that last time, and I ended up looking like an ass clown, so I don't want to do that again. But last game I got for us in the NBA, and then we'll put the bow on the show and shut her down. Going to Denver. Later game as well. The Suns and the Nuggets. This line opened at 9. It's come down to 6.5. 60% of the bets, 56% of the cash on the Nuggets. 237.5 is going to 238.5. 57% of the bets and 60% of the cash are on the over. Interesting little look. Oops, bear with me for 1 second. For 1 second. Okay. So we got the Suns. You know the deal. Kevin Durant wants out of this team again. His body language sucks. Fucking guy. Worthless. Aaron Gordon's questionable on the side of things for the Nuggets. Talk about the splits. Talk about the game itself here. Look, I got intersecting zeros opportunity here. You know I love to get involved with those. We want to fade the Suns. They're 0-9 after a game that was decided by 4 points. The margin of victory in those follow-up games, 14. 0-9, they're losing by 14 points. They're 0-16 when they have the rest advantage as an underdog of 3 or more points and a total of over 226. They don't win. And they're leaderless. Lack of inspiration from Kevin Durant. On the other side of things, it's the Nuggets and their home court advantage that finds its way to shine again. 20-0 after a home game that stayed under and they trailed by 7 or more at halftime. They start strong. They finish strong that next game with a healthy margin of 11 points in that spot as well. No sense to belabor the point. We're going to fire on the Nuggets. I'm joining Blake M. He likes the Nuggets minus 6.5. I'm going to take advantage. I'll tell you what. I've been firing away on some props lately. Look at Michael Porter Jr. Look for that guy to make an impact. I think he's definitely the guy to follow up and fire on. And I'll tell you what. I wouldn't be scared to take Portland on the money line if you're looking to beef that thing up too. I think they bust them boys up. Scotty Barnes over 13.5 rebounds and assist combo. I think that's a nice little look as well against a team in the Jazz that allow 120 points a game. Absolutely, Scotty Barnes should be the straw that stirs the drink. Appreciate you guys all watching tonight. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys have yourselves a glorious evening. Appreciate everybody taking the time to smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. I want to thank Joe W. for the Gifted Sports Money membership. You guys know, I've said it, we are viewer supported. We need your help. We need you to smash that thumbs up button. We need you guys to become members if you haven't done so already. And then take the opportunity to level up. There's levels to this game. There's levels to the plays action that we put out there when we're not live. But there is a UFC playbook available for everybody. We'll repost it again tonight in the post tab. And you can see the plays that I know Jeff's loaded up, Jim's loaded up, Sub's loaded up. I'm going to load it up. You guys will have a great playbook to work with for tomorrow's UFC 313 and, of course, the big live stream. I think we pop off around 5:30. It gets around 5:30. So enjoy your Saturday mornings. Make sure you check out my man, Ramon Scott. Get out there. There's First Strike available, 4 fights to go take action on. Before we get to the card itself, start building your parlay. Start getting smart about how you want to build this big bankroll Saturday for the big live stream. Have yourselves a great weekend. Appreciate everybody. Smack that thumbs up button, and we'll see you guys real soon.